Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. And I think we made enough links between subjects, between past and the present, and we got enough examples. But I want you to think of now how this particular point, which is point number 10, is related to the previous 9 points that we studied that would make the class effective. Now, I want you to look at the list, of things and tell me and try to show me that there is some relationship between the point that we have studied today and the others, okay?
Interactivity.
Interactivity.
Wherein I could just elaborate that there would also be a 3-way communication in class. If somebody talks about their personal experience, somebody can comment in, the teacher can also speak in. So there's a lot of interactivity going on in the class.
Okay, who agrees to this? 1 hand, 2 hands, 3 hands. Another thing, tell me how it relates to others. Can you think of a different way that this relates to this interactivity? I want to make it clear. It's not clear in my mind. Links, we say links. The teacher is making links. The best side of it, by the way, if not the teacher is the one who is making the links, if it is the students who are making the links. To what we talked, we said that it's the teacher who is trying to do this. How can you relate it to the point that you mentioned?
I would ask an open-ended question and ask the children to make the link to something else that they have studied with different teacher.
So if I am leading the class, right, I would be the one who asks open-ended questions, and the students would be making the link. Now we come to the level of interactivity. But if it is done by the teacher himself, I don't see a level of interactivity here. You see the point? So again, this takes us that the teacher should not do the whole job, but he should make the students do the job. If they can make it, that would be good. Yes, this is a good point. Another one, how it relates to others. Does it relate to distributive focus anyway? The answer is not necessarily to be yes, and we try to force it to find. Can be no.
Yes.
Yes, yes, how?
Because we are giving them knowledge, we are teaching them the concept.
We are making knowledge and concept. Where is the knowledge and concept in that? We're saying trying to make links.
Yes, by making a link, we are providing them the knowledge of how to make a link.
Okay.
If I'm linking any subject with the Quran, so I'm giving them the knowledge about the Quran. At the same time, I'm explaining a concept which will have understanding, and maybe answering, the way they are listening and answering can be the skills.
I'm a little bit unconvinced. Let's move to another one.
We can connect it with a good balance between teamwork and independent work.
How can you do that?
If there is a topic in the glorious Quran, it's a science subject, something related to science, maybe the cosmology. So we will talk about this to the students and divide the class into 2. One group talking about the Quranic verses, talking about this concept, and the other group, the ahadith. So a teamwork, relating science with Quran and hadith.
If the teacher would make it, okay, now work on this collectively, try to find some link with other things. Yes, in this case it can be. I still don't see strong, relationship between this, okay. I'm trying to find some. Yes, please, any of you?
A link can be related to high expectations, I feel.
Okay, this is good. Yes.
Because if a child is able to link, a student is able to link between his past and present,
yes,
he is fulfilling some of my expectations.
Yes. This is a good one. Yes?
What I can link it to is the variety of teaching methods.
Variety of teaching methods.
I can link some drab subject to something which is more interesting to another subject, so it will lead to the students picking up the subject better.
I don't see the link quite obvious. Can you? So now we're proving now it's not necessary that we find clear links. But I'm stressing this question because this is very important for you when you are designing the mental map. This does not relate very well. So I don't know where you would put it in the mental map, right, that you are going to do. Yesterday you designed one, you put 5 elements in it, right? They were very coherent, that there is a relationship between them. Now this looks a little bit odd from the other 9. It doesn't relate very well. This is how I see it. So how can you design something that you show me all these connect well and this one does not connect well? That's why I ask these questions. So I wish that when you go home, this is part of the assignment, you have two assignments. The first assignment is that you go home and rechange the mental map that you made to integrate the 5 ones that we learned today. And I'm quite sure that based on the information that we have, this does not, number 10, does not fit very well. So I'm quite sure that this should affect the map that you made yesterday. This is how I look at it. So this is one assignment that you have. The other assignment, me without asking you, I think that some of you have already started making an initial planning for a lesson plan. We will talk about it extensively tomorrow, inshallah. But I expect you now, at least you have some of the points that you are going to integrate in your lesson plan. So when we try to talk about it tomorrow, we have a lot of substance to talk about. Okay, so this is the second assignment. Okay, now I want you to continue telling me about what will you do next week. I need couple of examples, and then we'll evaluate the workshop today. What will you do regarding links? Would you go to the principal and ask him to give you 10 minutes to explain the concept of links between subjects and the question? This is one thing. What other things that you do? I expect one of you to say that I would ask the principal to make me one of those who evaluate the curriculum in the school. Evaluate the curriculum in the school. So I would be one of the people who work in this committee. So one thing that when we review any curriculum, we try to make links. I would make whole column here, right, when we are reviewing the curriculum, right, and add to links with other subjects. So if you're reviewing, for example, physics, right, when you come to each theme, how can you connect it with other subjects? This is another step that you can say that. Yes, I want to work on a committee of curriculum to spread this idea among the teachers. What else would you do? One of them is that I would advise everybody not to attend this workshop by Mamdooh. I know that. Yes, but in addition to this,
I would sit with teachers and come to a discussion regarding the effective use of resources available to us.
good effective use of resources. Yes,
Yes, because we do have power boards with
Good.
us, but I don't think so they are being used effectively in the class by the teachers.
Good. Remember, we are talking about links. We are talking about links now. Okay, good. What else? Don't force yourself to speak. Don't force it. If you don't feel like commenting or if you don't have anything, it's not necessary to push yourself. Yeah.
Inshallah, I will tell my students to link whatever that I have taught in the class to their personal experiences.
Okay.
That's what you said was experiential.
At the end of every lesson or whenever the moment comes?
Yeah, whenever. Or
Okay.
after I finish the lesson, inshallah, that's what's called, that you mentioned, in experiential learning.
Okay.
And that will lead to a higher level of interactivity in the class.
Let me ask you, really, what were you doing? What are the types of links that you were? I can say that most of you were making the links of time. What are the things that you were not doing? Tell me, among the links that we mentioned, be realistic. Tell me, I was not doing this, I was not doing this. I know that you were making some sort of time. Yes?
I think I would keep my students updated with the current affairs, which I wasn't doing, so that I could link it up with any chapter whenever it comes, as the situation arises.
Good. I would keep them updated with the current events. How would you do this if you're not teaching current events? Think of the answer and take a break and come back with the answer. Jazakumullahu khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Hush, little baby, breathing so calm.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Welcome back after the break. We were talking about links, and we got here some comments here ready for us. May I hear you comment?
Yeah, with respect to the current affairs that we were talking about, keeping updated to the children, I would put up bulletin board wherein the children would be asked to come up with any news and every day stick it on the board Or even I would, as a teacher, get some articles and stick them to keep them updated with what's going on around the world.
That's good. There's something good to relate the news to whatever you're teaching. However, I raised this question, how can you do this? I said that at least we should have a technique in our school. At least in the morning, the students would have opportunity to listen to the news. If the school doesn't do it for whatever reason, you as a teacher of a language need to use this, whether you teach English or Arabic or any other language. You can use it, you can make it a daily practice in your class that the first 2 or 3 minutes would go through reading the main news, right? And you ask the student to do it. This is very good. Yeah, so now we get another benefit, how to develop the issue of current events to be known by the students, either in the daily assembly, otherwise you can do it in your own class, particularly if you teach a language. Any objection? Any comments? Good. There was a nice comment here again.
Yes, Sheikh, what I would like to add up with this is, as she just mentioned about the links, that's the 10th point. I would say to add up 9 more points in the classroom under that particular topic where the children will come up and put put it up. And at the similarly in the staff room as well, where we can have a set of panel of teachers who can discuss, whoever's got these qualities would help the other teacher in improving in that particular field.
That's good. It has
10 points.
2 elements here, involving the students to do it and teaching the teachers indirectly. I can do this with adding another board, not necessarily a real board, but you can add a chart, right? You write your subject on it and write the theme. And whenever any student feels that he can make a link, he can get up without even speaking. The teacher is continuing her lesson or his lesson, and the student would come up and would write a link, would say that link between this and this. Whenever a student picks up a link, because it's not necessarily the links that can be ready whenever you ask the question. They can be ready after 5 minutes. These 2 ideas, for example, we didn't think of them while we made the discussion. So we should give it opportunity at any time during the lesson. Any student feels that there is a link with something, that he can come up to the board or to the chart and write it. So because the board is erasable, but the chart, keep it as is, doesn't change, right? And even the teacher can come at the end of the day and make yes or no to reinforce that. This is really very good. And I think we reach at a time that now I need to see your feedback. Now, this is time of oral feedback. What did you learn today? Let's take a few minutes in this without looking at your notes. Close your notes.
Effective use of technology.
Okay.
Making learning fun through games.
I learned that we can make the class fun. You can learn while the lesson is fun by making some games in it. So it's not all the time you should be stubborn and rigid and unsmiling. Okay? Good. You can learn while you are doing fun. Yes. Good.
Using time effectively, like if you are setting high expectations, then you should know how to use the limited amount of time where you can change your strategies and keep the same amount of time and get better results.
Yes, I will help you because tomorrow I will ask you a question. This may be unanswered. Effective use of time. Time is a key word in our life. Remember, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala swore by time. Wal asr. So important in our lifetime. And so important particularly for the teachers, because through us, we control the lives of other human beings in a sense of time. We don't control them in terms of death and life, okay? So don't misinterpret me. Don't say that he has a mistake in aqidah and you talk about me everywhere. So now we're talking about element of time. Because you are in control, yes, you can get the best use of time and apply it to the children. 1 minute from you equals 25 minutes because you have 25 children. This is only in one period. So if you lose every day 2 minutes from every class and you apply it to 7 classes, each class would have 20 or 25 students, you can do the math. And you can see the problem that you are causing to the Muslims. Okay, this is a very good one. Another one?
One of the good parts which I learned today is that linking between the subjects, whether it is Quran and science or whether it is maths or English, so that you can get the best out of the children and you can instill it in
Yes.
them, because you are linking with the subject. And after all, a person's life is but natural, linked with the hereafter. The dunya is linked with the hereafter. So this is a very good concept which I
Good.
got to learn. today.
Jazakallah khair. What else did you learn? Yes.
Alhamdulillah, I also learned that how do we actually know that our children have progressed? It's not only by having the assessment at the school level,
Very
but
good.
also at the local, national, and the international level.
Yes. Now I learned that the grades of the students don't tell me much about their progress. They can deceive us much more than you imagine. In order to know whether they are progress or not, we learn two ways. One way is comparing them with other schools, other results, and the other one is what? Comparing them with what? Some criteria, some expectations, or some standards. Call them whatever you want. So either to compare them to standards and expectations, or to compare them with results of other schools. Good. What else?
I have some words for methodology of linking. In fact, I have found it very, very lively, because very lively, very energetic thing to be done that will make the class full of enthusiastic students.
Good.
Because a weak student can link something somewhere. So
Good.
no student would find the class boring, even if the subject is as boring as mathematics.
Yes, trust me, even the young kids can make these links. Yeah, good. Another thing?
I learned questioning strategies, wherein I learned about open-ended and close-ended questions. And inshallah, with these strategies, if I use, I can enable my students to be thinkers.
In terms of this, I would add a word, perhaps I didn't give its right, which is the word challenge. This should be a common word among us. Challenging questions should be above the level of the students. One step above should be challenging. It shouldn't be something they already know. They have to look for it. They have to ask for it. They have to think to reach it. Challenging question. That's what we mean by open questions. Not just open, but challenging. It's a key word in education. Okay, good. What else? I will be talking about what we learned in sentences. Tomorrow I will ask you, what have we learned from this whole workshop in words? Give me 7 words that from your perspective are the most important words that we used here. Am I clear? Words, not sentences, not phrases. So now I'm raising the bar now, making it more challenging for you. Now you can freely talk in sentences and you explain them, but tomorrow you will not have this opportunity. I'll ask you, give me the most important 7 words that you learned here. In other words, 7 concepts. Good, continue.
I learned about how I should expect a progress in the students with a progress in my teaching pattern. Like about the sir that you mentioned, every time he asks them to read and make a summary, read and make a summary.
I didn't say this straightforward. And this is the type of learning that I want to hear. It's not the statements that we said. She understood that there is correlation between good teaching methods and the progress of students. Is that what you're saying? Yes. The correlation between when you use good teaching methods and strategies, they result in the progress of students. Wonderful. Great. Jazakallahu khairan. Yes.
Yeah, one of the things which I learned today is that in order to make sure that all the students in the classroom, they get engaged in a kind of activity, you should introduce more and more activities.
I learned that I was selfish in my teaching. I was focusing on some students because they are smarter than others. And now I ask Allah to forgive me for that. From now on, I learned how to engage all students, because on the day of judgment, remember, they will say, oh Allah, she didn't engage us. She favored some students and she didn't engage us in the lesson. I'm quite sure that this will happen, by the way. I am very serious in this. Now you know that from the Islamic perspective, it is the right to take the same rights that other students take. Right, good. Yes?
What I've also learned is in this workshop today is how important it is for us to link with the other teachers as to what they are teaching. We should be in sync with what's happening, what the other teachers are teaching. If we can plan between ourselves, it would lead to a much cohesive environment in the classroom wherein the students are, they can better understand the concept along with all of the other subjects.
MashaAllah. This is falls under sharing. Sharing. Yes, you can have this all for yourself and you can apply them in your classes. But if you don't share it with other teachers, you feel that all what you're doing may not be reinforced. You cannot affect because the other teachers are not doing this. So it doesn't become part of the students' DNA. We need to make it part of their DNA. And we can do it only by making other teachers do what we do. And in this way, collectively, we can raise the level of the students. You can raise them in the subject that you teach. But if in the other subjects, if they are not raised, they are still in the low. You need to do this collectively, right? And this is, again, مسؤولية الجماعة. It's like exactly the prayer that we need to do it collectively. Jazakumullah khair. And I feel very happy with the way that you understand things. Very happy with this. Although we mentioned this yesterday, but it was articulated in a better way. Good. Jazakumullah khair. And one other thing, and I will end up with this. If you have another thing. Okay?
Comment which I would like to say is that it's not an overnight thing that the children will understand this whole concept in one go. So as we are taking time to practice it, it's just not that these few days of workshop will help us and we have done with it. We need to practice a lot, and same view we need to keep for the students, that they may take some more time, so we need to be patient and work together in this.
Yes, Jazakallahu khair. We need more practice ourselves, and we need more patience with the students. Yeah. If you learned this in 3 days, for example, and you needed more time to practice it until it becomes embedded in you, so we need longer time with other teachers and other students in order to. I think, alhamdulillah, I'm very happy. We've achieved a lot, and I'm still waiting for your assignment tomorrow, which will be the mental map. The other one would be for your own self, but you would participate with us. I just want to see how it is developed in your brain. I'm not going to grade anything. And tomorrow, expect me at the end, yes, to ask you these questions. What did you learn in few words? Word. And select the most important word. Like, for example, the word sharing now, right? Under sharing, we can write a whole page. Jazakumullahu khairan. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to benefit us of what we have learned and to make us good tools to benefit other people, inshallah, so that we would raise the level of education in the Islamic schools, not just in India, but across the world. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
Little baby, pure and small, He created you, He created us all. Hush, little baby, don't you fear, we're never alone when Allah's so near. Hush, little baby, breathing so calm, He'll protect us all and keep us from harm. Hush, little baby, still and serene, you are a Muslim, Islam's your deen. Hush, little baby, pure and small,